Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly and this is Cal Beauty. Here I talk about all things beauty, makeup, lifestyle, and even some career advice thrown in every once in a while. I upload new videos every Sunday at 12 Eastern Standard Time, and you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Cal Beauty. I am very excited, by the way. I am on vacation this week. This is the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and traditionally I take this week off for vacation. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm on vacation is to play with makeup. I find I have a little bit more time. I'm not as rushed as I normally am in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, so I can play with some new things and try some new looks. Specifically, one of the things I really like to do is to try out a new eye palette. And I wanted to show you all what my process is when I'm deciding on an eye palette, and then how I start to put looks together once I've decided on the eye palette. So let me show you all first what palette I decided to try out this week. This is the palette. This is the Morphe Madison Beer Channel Surfing Artistry palette. Lots of words there. Beautiful palette. I bought this at ULTA. I believe this is exclusively sold at ULTA. It retails for $22. So not quite as expensive as your high-end palettes, but not quite as low as some of your drugstore palettes. Kind of the middle of the road there. Let me show you the colors here. Let me take a look. Let's open this up and show you how I found this palette. So this palette comes with this laminated sheet on top of it. I can remove that. I'll admit, not one of my favorite features in a palette. I haven't had one like this before. So the names aren't on the palette. If I want to find out what the name is, then I have to refer to the laminated sheet. Not, again, one of my favorite features, but it's not a deal breaker. So that was the first thing. Then let me show you now the colors. Very, very pretty palette. You get some good neutrals in there. You get some good colors, some good shimmers. So let me tell you guys, when I'm deciding on a palette, some of the things that I look for. You know, it used to be that when I was first starting out buying new palettes, about a year ago when I started to increase my makeup game, I would just look at colors and think, oh, those are pretty colors, I'm going to buy that. But I quickly learned that there were certain things that I needed in a palette in order to create a look. And it can be a pain if I don't have everything in one palette, especially again, when I'm getting ready quickly. I don't have time to find one palette that maybe has my transition shade, but it doesn't have a good highlight. So I got to find that in another one. It just makes it so much easier if everything is in one palette. So let me show you the things that I look for in a palette. First off, I look for some good transition shades, and specifically mattes. They need to be matte colors. Let me show you in this palette, this fit the bill for that. There's actually two shades in here that work out really well. First is this one right here, and that is called Jericho. Jericho is the name of that one. The other one in here that makes a good transition shade is this one right here, and that's called Emotional Bruises. I know, very dramatic, but yes, Emotional Bruises. And that color, that purple color, is actually the one I have on today as my transition. So that's the first thing I look for. Then I look for a lid shimmer, something that I can apply to this movable part of my lid. This fit the bill for that. Several different lid shimmers. The lid shimmer that I am wearing today is this one right here, and that is called Cosmos. Cosmos. Very pretty lid shimmer. So my third thing I have to have is a inner lid shimmer, one that I wear right here in the corner to brighten up my eye a bit. The one I'm wearing for that today is this one right here, and that is called Baby. So a lighter shade for in that inner corner. My third thing I have to have. Then my fourth thing is a good highlight color, and again, this has to be matte because I'm wearing this up in my brow bone, in my inner tear duct area. I don't want to have a shimmer in that area. So the color this palette has for that is this one right here. And then finally, the fifth thing that I have to have are some mattes that I can use for my corner, to define the corner here, and to also use for blocking. Again, those need to be mattes. I don't want to use shimmers in that area. You can tell this palette has several different options there. And that's what I really look for, is I look for some options in that, because that's what I'm going to be able to use to create lots of different looks. The one that I'm wearing today is this one right here. This one right here. And that is called Fight Club. Ooh, I know. Fight Club. Love these names. I guess these have to do with different things you watch if you were channel surfing, about the trend I'm seeing there. So that's what I'm wearing for my corner today. And I'm also wearing that. I also use that to block. So 5 things I have to have. Now there is a bonus. Palettes, I don't require this in a palette, but it's a bonus if it has this. And that is a shade that I can use for liner. This palette actually has 2. Let me show you. This one right here, that is called Rabbit Hole. Now that is a black color, but I don't mind using that because I can control the intensity of that. I can apply just a tiny bit, as close to the lash line as I can get, and I feel like that looks very nice. The other color, and actually the one that I'm wearing today, is this one right here. And that is called 3553. I don't really know what that is. If one of y'all know what that reference is, please let me know. I have no idea. But that's what that's called. So I used that today as a liner, and I think that worked out really well. So this palette met all my criteria. It's got all those things, plus the bonus of a liner. Now, once I picked out a palette, once I've looked at it, made sure that it does everything I want it to, and I've purchased it, the first thing I do is swatches. And I will admit to you all, sometimes I'm doing that in the car right after I bought the palette. Like literally, I will open my car door, I will open this baby up, and I'm swatching on my arm. Sometimes I don't even have a tissue to wipe it off with. I have to drive home like that. But I'm so excited. When I buy palettes, I'm like a kid. I'm so excited to see what those colors look like. It also just gives me an idea of how those play, how intense the colors are. Sometimes colors in the pan, when you swatch them, they look very different. But you also have to be careful. Sometimes swatches don't always match exactly what they're going to look like on the eye. It's just a matter, it's just fun to kind of take a look at what those colors are going to look like. So that's the first thing I always do with a palette, is I swatch it. Then, once I've done that and I'm ready to actually start wearing it, I typically will start out with a neutral look. Something that's going to be hard to mess up. And it gives me an idea of how those colors play. How pigmented are they? Do they have glitter in them? Do they have fallout? How intense do I need to go with when I do my brushing? And it's good that I do that because I'll show you what I learned with this palette. There are 3 colors in here that unfortunately have glitter in them. Let me show you which ones. First is this color right here. That's called Stained Glass. This color right here, that's called C137. And then finally, this color right here, Pixie. Pixie. I found out you all can tell today I've got more of a purple look on, and I tried that Pixie color with this. I had glitter everywhere. It ended up falling under my eye. It was up on my eyelid. At one point I had some down on my cheek. It went everywhere. Not a very flattering look, especially for us mature ladies with more mature skin. So I've learned those 3 shades do not work for me. Let me do a little swatch and show you, kind of see if you can see that glitter I'm talking about. I'll do that Pixie one. And I was so disappointed. So you can't really see too much in there, but trust me, there's glitter in there. So I was really disappointed because honestly, those 3 shades were 3 of the ones that when I first saw this palette, I was most attracted to. So it's okay though, because there are 20 shades in this palette. There's just 3 of them that don't work for me. Still a good deal. Still got plenty of other options that I can use there. So that's what I find out when I start playing with it. Once I've created a neutral look and I found out how pigmented the colors are and how they play, then I start to branch out a little bit more and I start to put together different looks like the one I've got on today. So what I'll tend to do, because I'll admit to you all, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not trained in this. I just like to put together colors that I think will look nice. And a lot of times what I'll do before I even create a look is I'll swatch them on my hand to see how they look together. So let me show you what it looked like before I put this look together. First, I like to get an idea of what will work for a transition shade. So again, I'm wearing this one right here, and let me swatch that. That's what that looks like. Okay, so that's my transition. Then I went for what would work for my corner color. So I swatched that. There's that color right there. And I'll apply that next to that transition shade to see how they're going to look together. So there they are. And I can see right away, those look really nice. They look very nice together. They blend well. Then I'll start looking at shimmers. I'll start with my lid shimmer. And I did the Cosmos for that one. I'll apply that next to that corner color. There's that. So I see, yep, that looks nice. Shimmers can really be tricky. In the pan, that almost looks like it's got more of a brown color to it. But then when I swatched it, it's got a little bit more of those purple tones. Then I'll go for my inner shimmer. So I'll show you, I used Baby for that one. And that is right there. So I can see those colors play really well with each other. Now, I typically don't swatch the highlight color or the liner. Those are pretty basics. It's usually these four, the transition, the two lid shimmers, and then that corner color, the one I use for my blocking, that I really have to test out and see how they look together. That's really been what I've developed for my process that I use for putting together looks, and it's worked out really well. If you all are curious about the other looks that I'm going to create, I am going to be posting pictures on social media. I'm going to put pictures out on Instagram and Facebook throughout this week of the different looks that I create. If you all don't already follow me, that's okay. Again, I'm at Calcav Beauty, and there are links below to both my Instagram and my Facebook pages. I would love it if you guys went on there, follow me, like my page, and you'll see lots of my other things that I post on there. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up down below and consider subscribing to my channel. I hope that you all have a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with your family and your loved ones, and I'll see you all next Sunday. Bye-bye.